my name is Nicole Isham, and
Jacob Turnham.
we are Take Turns. We're a new DJ collaboration based out of Santa Ana, California, and we're gonna just talk to you a little bit about our backgrounds in the industry, what got us into DJing, why we're here today, and what we're presently doing in the industry and towards our future career goals. The first thing I want to talk about is, I'll start with me, I guess, and then we'll go towards Jacob. So starting with me, because I know Jake's been doing this like 3 times as long, I got into DJing many years after I started going to festivals. I started going to festivals in around like 2006, like Together as One. I've been going to EDC for like over 10 years. So basically this was about 3 years ago. I was in my ex-boyfriend's garage, and he had always had a controller, but I don't know, I just always enjoyed hosting my own parties while he DJ'd and just dancing and having fun with my friends, until he's like, just try it for fun. And I actually got on and I was like, wow, this is very therapeutic. So after that, he couldn't get me off his decks, and he started getting mad about that, and then I was never off of him. So basically, at that time, him and I were going through a breakup, and we had been together 7 years. And after that, my dad had got cancer, and I was finally working as a nurse, which is what I went to college for. And through all the things that were happening to me, and living with these crazy roommates that were constantly on drugs, destroying my place, I had so much stress going on that the only thing that got me through it was music. And I never thought about it, but I was like, I can't see myself doing anything else. And so through all of my heartbreaks and sorrows, I was able to release all this energy I'd been holding into music. And that's when I started realizing, oh, you know, a lot of people from any type of genre of music, that's how they release their anger and sorrows as well. And so I started writing, and so I've written a couple songs, and that's when I realized, hey, I want to produce. Maybe I can produce my own beats for this music and compile these songs into songs that can actually help people. And so that's when I, 2 years in, picked up Ableton and started self-teaching myself through YouTube videos how to produce. And around that time, Jake and I met at RKY Radio, which we were resident DJs for 2 years. And that's when I decided, hey, maybe we could do this together, put both of our efforts in, and make something beautiful and something that you guys will all enjoy to listen to. So I'm still in the process of learning. I don't have as much experience as Jacob over here, but it's been a fun process, and I have a lot of ideas, and
a good teacher.
And yeah, if you're patient enough, you will get to hear everything that I've been working on. So we haven't given up that. We've been doing shows here and there. We were both doing a couple college parties in Berkeley a couple summers ago, and then we started rebranding and working on our music career last summer, got a couple gigs towards the end of the year, headlined a New Year's party, and now we're back in the studio making more music again. So, I mean, it's taking some time, but we want everything to be perfect, something that we can be proud to show you. And I think what's more interesting is hearing about Jake's story, because I've actually became so much more better in my technical DJing skills because of Jake. And now let's talk to Jake about how he started and where he got today in DJing, and why he's so talented, and how he was really gonna shape a lot of our music as well in Take Turns. Now it's time to hear from Jake, my collab in Take Turns. He's actually been listening to electronic dance music and going to festivals as long as I have, but he actually has been DJing 3 times as long as me. So Jake, why don't you first start talking about how long you've been into the music that you now play and what got you started in DJing and producing, and how you got to where you are today.
So I'm mostly into dubstep and electro house music, and what got me mostly into that was probably deadmau5. deadmau5 made a huge impact on the scene, and he helped spread the music to like a bigger platform like the radio and to the Grammys even, and so that guy had a really big influence on the music that I make now.
So Jake, now that we understand about one of your main influences, tell us when you first started getting into electronic dance music, and tell us how you first came about picking up your first DJ controller and getting into DJing and producing yourself.
So I believe I was at Nocturnal 2010, and I had like this epiphany where I was watching, I think it was Fetty LeGrand, and I was watching him from the other side, and I wanted to be on that side, and I wanted to express to people what I could do through music. And so I went out and I bought a DDJ Pioneer T1. It's a really good product. And from there, I kept DJing in my room constantly. I would DJ at parties, and
Now about
frankly, the people didn't sometimes like the dance music that I was playing because it was when it was coming up.
That's what I say. So tell us about around what time in your life was that? What period was that? Back in the 2000s? How old were you then? Were you still living at your mom's
It was like
house?
2008. I was a junior.
And what was the music scene back then? Was electronic dance music popular?
It was popular, but it's not anything that it is today.
What did you experience at the parties you went to? What were the kids in your class particularly listened to at the time that you were DJing at these parties?
I'd say like Linkin Park and Blink-182 and My Chemical Romance or whatever, and just not dance music, and everybody would like give you shit for it and like, well, basically shame you and call you a drug addict because you went and experienced different music. And yeah, so how all of that came about is like I'd be DJing at these parties
because they needed someone to DJ. And
yeah,
you had
or
the
no, not
equipment.
even that. Like I would volunteer and just put myself in these horrible situations where people were basically like hating me because I was playing dance music most of the time, and like always telling me, oh, play this and play that, but like I just kept doing it. And then I finally got out of the high school stuff and I started playing like college parties and like fraternity houses and that kind of stuff. And then by that time, like stuff kind of caught on a lot better, like with dance music. So there's like a bigger variety of people listening and coming to party.
So how would you say that you got into the college parties, and was the crowd better when you started DJing these college parties?
The crowd were, well, obviously they're older, and then they got better because well, a lot of the drinking was legal now, so that's a sense. And the parties were like organized and bouncers, tickets, you know, and so it was a lot better and the crowds were cooler.
But were you just going out and trying to play for free just because you liked it? Were you actually trying to get paid to do that? Or
I get paid, but sometimes I don't, and it wasn't like the worst thing. It was more like I was just trying to get out there and just put myself out there in any way I could.
And did that make you want to take it to the next level?
Yeah, for sure. That's where it kind of started.
So now that you put in your struggle, and I assume at the time when you were DJing in your bedroom, you didn't feel that the scene would blow up into what it is today. So you truly, honestly had that passion because you stuck with it. And now that you are where you are today, aren't you glad that you stuck with it?
Yeah, because it's exploding in every direction, really.
So tell everyone, because before we were Take Turns, Jake actually had an opportunity of a lifetime in Vegas. Why don't you tell people about your experience as a DJ in that kind of nightclub scene?
Well, it started with this guy named James, and I met James. I was actually homeless, and I was living in Vegas, well, going back and forth to Vegas to try to make money and to try to get myself into some of the nightclubs out there. And I met this guy it was Hakkasan, Las Vegas, and he just looked like a normal guy, but it wasn't so normal because he was wearing like a tank top and shorts in a nightclub, and that's like a no-go. You have to be someone.
Right.
You have to be someone to be wearing those clothes, and he was wearing sandals, I think, too. So it was like, okay, who are you? And he was really cool, and he brought me to his table, and he just explained to me what he was doing, and he brought me to his room, and he wanted to hire me to play at like the next day at pretty much all the nightclubs, all the day clubs and beach clubs there. He wanted to try me out at a lot of them. So my first one I ever played at was Dreas Beach Club, and
so what kind of artists have you opened for, and what kind of music were you playing at the time?
I was playing a lot of house music, just normal house, tropical house, and
were you allowed to pick what you wanted to play?
No, it's really strict. Like, I can't really.
Because you were opening for acts such as.
Yeah, you can't outplay the headliner. That's just like a known.
What kind of acts were you playing for?
Calvin Harris, I opened for a few times. Steve Aoki, Diplo. There's countless people, you know. Hardwell.
Didn't you go on a tour one time with Diplo for Matt Decent Block Party?
Yeah, I did a tour. He invited me out by email to Matt Decent Block Party in Berkeley at, I forgot they have a theater.
Oh, the Greek?
Yeah, the Greek Theater.
Right.
Yeah, the Greek Theater. That was my first real big thing, and we got on a bus and everything. It was really cool. But yeah, I played there, and that was like the biggest crowd I've ever done. It was probably like I would say something like 3,500 people to 5,000 people or something like that at a time. And that was a really cool experience. Probably wouldn't work with that company again, but it was a really cool experience. I got to hang out with Tiesto and Diplo. He's a cool guy. Yeah.
So I've heard.
Yeah.
So would you say that was kind of your first real experience dealing in the industry that high up, and now that you know more of what it's about, has that brought you to the decisions you've made in your music career today that have brought you to the current place you are right now in music?
No, most definitely. It's like it gave me a taste. It gave me a taste of what is possible and what I can do with myself, and it made me want more. So I'm continually just hitting the studio and trying to make things work, and so.
So I have a couple more questions for you. You were going by Luminous. First of all, do you want to tell the audience what your persona is with Luminous, and why you're taking a break from Luminous and going on a collaboration through a different journey with me right now?
I just think we have something that we could market to people, and you know, just the girl-guy duo. You don't see many of them, and I've come to realize that it's very beneficial to have someone working behind you and with you and on the same projects, and getting a different outlook on music is like the most important thing. So that's why I've taken a kind of a break off of Luminous, because for one, I kind of leveled it out once I went back to school, and so like it kind of died out, what like my little flame I had going.
So I'm sure your fans want to know what happened with Luminous. Why did you go back to school? I'm sure the crowd's very interested in why you took a career turn.
So I got offered a contract, and it was substantially better than the one I had before with MGM, and the contract included me not going back to school. Like, they didn't want to fly me to go to school anymore, so I told them that I didn't want to do it, and that I was going to go back and finish school, because I only had like a year. I had a year left, so I moved back to Fullerton, and that was right around the time I met you. And I finished school, and then now we're taking a stab at it again, and we're building our connections and pumping out tracks. And that's our next step.
So you wouldn't say you completely lost out, because you had the Vegas experience and you experienced...
No, I definitely didn't lose out.
Well, you experienced some of the negatives of the industry as well as the positive, and now you think the second time around with a couple tracks ready to be released and going around the route of working for specific heads of management in different casinos, that this way, this time around, is going to be your best time around?
Yeah, I'm not really going to be trying to be an opening act. We're not trying to, we're trying to hit the ground running.
Right. So your fans of Luminous shouldn't be disappointed, because you're going to come back with a bigger bang through Take Turns with some killer beats and some fire DJing as before, that you can promise will be maybe even better than it was in Vegas.
Oh, it's going to be better, because I've been continually getting better at everything that I do. So.
And would you say now you are 26 years old, correct?
Correct.
So how long has it been since you started DJing? You've been doing this for what?
Since I was 15.
Right, that's a long time.
Yeah. That's 11 years.
So now, what do you enjoy about Take Turns, and the things that you can tell everyone that you have in store for them, for this collaboration that you've been participating? I think we've been doing this for 2 years.
Well, we have a lot of really hip and upbeat style tracks, really catchy lyrics. It's a lot of like movie reference type tracks. We have a lot of things coming, so it's a lot. It's gonna be a lot different. It's gonna be. I like to say it's like a mixture of G house and bass house, like electro house feel to it.
So it's gonna be around the same type of genre, but with influences from similar genres.
Yeah,
alike.
exactly. Yeah. We have a lot of people backing us too.
That's excellent. So for me, I haven't been DJing as long as Jake. Like I mentioned earlier, I've been DJing for the past 3 years, and through all my setbacks and upsets, I've been working very hard to learn this whole new game of music, and it's a lot of information, but I'm having fun with it. I myself have been working on my solo project, Jurassic Sparks. What you don't know about Take Turns, unless you've gone to our shows, is we're both heavily influenced early in our careers and in our love of music with dubstep. And so our first 4 shows were heavily influenced with dubstep and trap beats. But we realized that when we were sitting down to produce music, that a lot of our ideas fit better in-house, and a lot of people in the area are looking between bass house, G house, tech house, electro, that's very popular right now, and we believe that the music that we're currently making is going to make our fans very pleased. And so we don't like to switch genres, but we're here trying to make music. 2 different people from different walks of the earth, and we're just going to bring you what we think you'll like best. And so that's why we've stepped away from our dubstep roots, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'll probably still perform one day under Luminous.
Luminous, you'll probably do some
dubstep.
Dubstep, trap, electro.
With my old homies, yeah.
Yeah, so Take Turns is, I guess you could say it's a little bit milder than what we both want to put into our side projects. But we're letting you know there's plenty out there for you, bass heads. Take Turns isn't going anywhere, but neither are our solo careers. And so for me, Jake's told you about all the places he's DJ'd in Vegas. He's told you he went on tour with Matt Decent. He's been DJing college parties from Arizona, Berkeley, all over the whole Western United States. For me, I have been doing a couple college parties here and there. I was actually a resident DJ of RKY Radio for the last 2 years, as well as Jake. That's one of the ways we met, was on RKY Radio, and we decided to use both of our talents to bring this collaboration forth. So we'd like to thank one of our sponsors, RKY Radio, for helping promote us at this time. And yeah, I write my own lyrics, I produce my own beats, and I can also sing and do a little bit of hip hop. But right now what we're focusing on is also collaborating with other musicians, as far as it could be anyone from guitarists, hip hop artists, you play saxophone, whatever. We want to expand our music to the masses by including people from all other talents and walks of life. So that's why I've hired other people on our team. So that's kind of what I've been doing the last 2 years, is trying to find my sound. And I know since Jake's graduated from college, he's been trying to find his sound, whether he's going to stick with his electro or trap when he was doing Luminous, or if he's going to really take this bass G house with Take Turns to the next level. So Jake, do you want to kind of talk about now Take Turns' first debut single, All Dogs Go to Heaven, what it's about and where you can find it?
So the song is about, like, everybody loves dogs. I know they do. So like the song came from, I don't know, we were just sitting there one day, and I saw some really sad dog video on Facebook, and I decided, hey, like, I know that dog probably went to heaven, so I was like, do all dogs go to heaven? So
I mean, that's been a notorious
we
saying,
yeah,
I would say, for the...
it has no relation to the movie at all either, so Disney, stay off my back. But yeah, All Dogs Go to Heaven, it's just about all dogs going to heaven, and it's a house track. I'd probably say it's got pretty bass housey, like a bass housey drop, and the vocals are all original.
And we want to give credit to Ted
Yeah,
the Poet.
Ted the Poet.
Is what he goes by. He normally does hip hop, but he did us a favor on this one.
And he's also available for more tracks if anybody wants him.
Well,
So,
we guarantee you'll love the song, so we're not too worried about that.
I've been
It's
putting
very
a lot of
catchy.
work into it, yes. And it's going to be available on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify. We're going to put it up on YouTube with, well, first the track is going to drop, and then a week later we're going to put up the music video, which I'm pretty proud of. And it's also, yes, that's the main platforms, I believe. And yeah, Amazon Music as well. We're gonna try and get it up there. It's a little bit more difficult than the others, but we're gonna try and make it available everywhere.
Well, now you know where we've been missing in action, and once we have all our music up, we're planning to have, I think, 3 for this summer alone. We're going to be playing shows towards the end of summer. You just really want to focus on releasing our music. So hopefully you'll come catch us soon. And as usual, we're on different social media platforms. We have our YouTube for Take Turns, which is really cool because you get to see us live in action DJing or just being silly. And then we have, obviously, we're on Instagram, and we have our SoundCloud. And our SoundCloud's really cool. You should definitely follow SoundCloud Take Turns because the mixes are fire. We have all types of stuff, even outside our genre. So we have like the dubstep, the trap. We have like a main feel-good house mix up there. We have a dirty tech house one. And there's a lot of unique music that we've spent months trying to find these certain tracks that you may not hear unless you download it from our mix. So be sure to check us out. Be sure to go check out our tune. If you like it, go ahead and buy it and support us. And we'd love some feedback. So please let us know. You know where to find us. Any other last thoughts, Jake?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Till next time. Bye.
All darks go to heaven. All darks go to heaven. All darks go to heaven.